All right, I'm going to keg the What's to Wheat beer, and what I like to do is I like to fill my keg with sanitizer and let it sanitize while I'm getting a reading. There's a little funnel, a little screen in here that can catch any little dirts or particles, but I don't believe there will be because I just mixed the sanitizer up the other day and kept it covered. But in case you're doing this and you got a screen in your funnel, never let the funnel go down into the keg and just rest, because when you do, as the keg gets full, the back pressure will blow that screen out. And if that screen had caught any little hairs, or like when I had a dog, we used to find little hairs in there, and the screen would catch everything. But if you let it sit in the keg, she would actually blow herself right out of there, and all the little particles of dirt or whatever would end up going right in there. As I look in the funnel here, I can actually see some little pieces of what you would maybe call lint. I should have been counting how many I'm putting in here. You can see it overflowing, but we'll stop there and fill it up a little bit later if it takes more. And this camera going to pick that up? Probably not. Down here you got these little pieces of lint. There it is. I'm pulling them out. See them? The little dark pieces here. Right there. Right there. Little pieces. But over time you get that in your keg, and those will plug up your little spigots there, and you'll be shooting foam and everything else out your tap, and it'll plug up the little things in there, and you don't want that. So I'm going to get a sample here of the beer here now, and I'll just go straight forward through here. I sanitize everything in case I decide to put it back. I don't make the mistakes that some people make and leave the bubbler in here when you do this. So I'm going to make sure I pull that out after I sanitize my spigot. And this is a wheat beer. So my bubbler's out, and this is 2 weeks to the day she's been fermenting here. Let's see if I'm going to get a clean sample or not. And she's going. You get a lot of trub. Oh. Always got the habit of overflowing. You can see got some trub. You can see it floating around in there, but that shouldn't affect my reading too much. I'll let that settle out there, and I'll get an accurate eagle's eye on there. So we'll be going to the keg shortly. What I'd like to do is put my bubbler back in temporarily, my airlock temporarily, as my keg is sitting here sanitizing a few minutes. Then I'll dump it in here. I have my hose in here, so I already got the sanitizer in there all nice and flushed out. I have a bottling wand ready for a couple bottles if I so choose. If I got some, I can tell my layers up here. So we'll play it by ear whether I put some in the bottle or not. We just don't want it hanging around too long if I do. I didn't put any bottles in here. I should have them ready, but I should know better. We'll see how that goes. All right, the final gravity came in at 1.006, and that's down from 1050, and that equals out to be 5.8% to my calculations on the phone. So we're ready to go to keg. Now I'm going to open the valve. Everything's sterilized. The sanitizer's out of the keg. Just want your hose at the bottom there. And this we got a plug keg with trub on. I didn't have it open. So yeah, let that flow. It's the wheat beer. What's to Wheat? The name of this one. And we'll get a sample here on this. I hate to move the camera. Get anybody dizzy there. So we'll get a sample taste on the raw taste. Let's make sure I got my right hose on there. The bubbler is out. Oh, we need the stuff. We need the stuff.
The grapefruit?
Yes, I forgot. This gets grapefruit juice.
Not apricot.
Hurry, 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 hurry.
I want to make sure I had the right one.
I forgot
You don't want it
almost.
to be apricot, do you?
Yeah, no. This is the grapefruit wheat. And I'm using Brewer's Best. Again, as a flavoring. This works really good. Boy, we almost did forget. And just pour that whole thing in there like that. Let it fill up, stir up. Say, holy grapefruit. Boy, that was almost a blunder. So anyway, too bad I didn't save a drip to put in my sample taste here. Oh, a couple little drips. All right, we get a nice little sample off of that with the grapefruit in there. That was a hiccup. How you doing? My camera's always crooked. Either that or I'm crooked. Okay. It's a tough one to call because I got to sample it grapefruit to my mouth first, which was pretty bitter. Not really sure what to make of it. You want to? Wife will take enough camera taste. Her mouth is more
Well, you
open.
had all that. You sucked on the grapefruit.
A little bit, yeah. It's a hard one to call, I think, right now.
Almost a hay burner.
Come on.
Yeah. It's got that same profile.
Yeah, my mouth is bitter from putting that in there first. So what else am I going to screw up on this?
That's pretty tasty. It'd be much better carbonated, but
Oh, I'm thinking carbonation. I can't tell on this one until she is. So we're going to let this fill up here. You think I made a couple bottles? Let's see, I'm here and I'm here.
yes,
I don't know.
yes.
I
If
don't
you're
know.
accurate on your measurement, you will.
That might end up being total trub, so we'll find out in a minute before I get a bottle.
All right, on the What's the Wheat beer.
It's a grapefruit beer. It's been in a keg now for almost 2 weeks at a high carbonation rate. This was made March 13th, so
March 9th.
March 9th. So we're going to get a sample taste on this. One for me, one for the wife. There's one. Looks like it's pouring a beautiful head.
Thank you.
And here's the next one. What's to Wheat? A grapefruit wheat beer. And there's mine. Looks like we got about a 2-finger head. Let's get on with the taste. So what's the wheat? It's a goldish color, very cloudy. The head, the head has faded rapidly to almost a non-existent head. You would almost expect a little bit more out of a wheat. Lacing seems to be spot on. The smell, you get fresh, definitely the smell of grapefruit right up front. So let's get on with the tasting. At March 9th, this was made, so. Oh, wow.
I was really worried about the hop.
Wow. Grapefruit comes through nice. The hop, no, it's 8 pounds of wheat, little German Munich, some 2 rows of Carapils, Simcoe hops, and Willamette at the end there. 5.8%. That's not too bad of a a percentage beer. I print out all my sheets so I keep track of what's going on there. So the grapefruit comes through right away, and it has a bittering taste. A lot of times the grapefruit gives a bittering taste on its own. Can't tell on the carbonation if we're on target here. It sat in the keg for almost 2 weeks, but with no headspace in the keg whatsoever. I must have had this much room, and the gas line was touching the top of the beer. I didn't want to waste any. So if we're 100% carbonated, I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to get a flashlight on there and see if I can actually see some of the bubbles. Let's see. Supposed to be a flashlight in here somewhere. Where is it when you need it? You know what I mean? Wow. Wow. Wow, I don't see my flashlights. Alright. That's nonsense. So. Wife handed me hers. I can see some carbonation in there. Camera's not going to pick that up. I doubt the camera will pick it up. Very small bubbles. Rising. I would say she's almost carbonated. Once I got the headspace in there, she'll finish up here in the next day or two. Anyway, and she'll probably get a bigger head and a better retention on the head. Oh yeah, how you doing in there? So yeah, what's the wheat? Maybe March 9th. I keep changing the date, I suppose. Lacing isn't that much. So yeah, I think I had a little ways to go on the carbonation yet. But the mouth feels really good. A grapefruit wheat. Just what I expected. So cheers. Stay thirsty. Or Proust. Stay thirsty. Why wouldn't you? I'm going to enjoy this, and I'm going to have a nice fish dinner. Why wouldn't I?